Chiller gets fixed next week.
I'd like to welcome you to the July meeting of the Golf Committee. And we have one absent, and that's Kimberly Mullen, and I have her proxy at this time. We have one addition to the agenda. Under new business, would you put ice machine? Okay, we have two new members to introduce, John Fritz and Drew Hendren, and we welcome you both. And in 25 words or less, tell us a little bit about yourself.
The microphone. Hit the microphone.
You're on. Hit the mic first. Yeah.
Oh, I'll go first. John Fritz moved here full-time 3 years ago, moved here from North Carolina. That would have been from the east coast of North Carolina, just due west of the Outer Banks. All right, people always ask why Bella. Our very, very bestest friends lived here, do live here now. We've known him since we lived in Atlanta. Worked for Honeywell for 35 years, retired from there. And my background is commercial excellence, logistics, and business development. And so I think some of those expertises might be a benefit to this organization. Glad to be
John.
here.
Welcome. Drew.
Name is Drew Hendren, from Gravett. Lived here most all my life, other than going to college down at UCA in Conway. Worked as a loan officer for Legacy National Bank. Been a lot owner here since 2021, and been playing golf here ever since, and looking forward to help improving the game here.
Thank you. Welcome, Drew. Okay, election of officers. We need new officers for the coming year, and I will entertain nominations for chair.
Well, Ruth, I think as far as I'm concerned, you've done a phenomenal job since I've been on this committee, and I don't think there's anybody that's better qualified, and you've done a great job. I'd like to see you continue in that role. So
Be careful what you wish for.
so I'd like to go ahead and nominate you,
Thank you.
to continue in that capacity.
Any others? If not, go ahead and vote. Kim will vote also. Kimberly will vote. She tells me I'm going to abstain. Okay, vice chair. We have nomination for vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Brad Lawrence for vice, with his experience being in his second term, his leadership qualities, and then he just overall embodies the spirit of this committee's core values. I think that he would be a great vice chair.
We have a second. Okay, Claire, thank you. Any other nominations? Okay, at this time we'd like to vote. All those? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Secretary, I have already talked to one of our members. John has graciously said that he would put his name in if nominated, and I am going to go ahead and nominate him.
We thought Dave was gonna be.
What? So I'll nominate John at this time. A second. Okay, any other nominations? Anybody want to volunteer? Thank you, I appreciate that. All right, all those in favor of John? We have two here. Thank you, we appreciate John. Okay, so those will be our election of officers for next time. We have approval of the June 10th meeting minutes. Okay, we have a second? Okay. Any corrections or additions? If not, all those in favor accept as written? I have two here. I keep forgetting I have two. Thank you. Okay, golf facilities reports. Let's start over here with Clay.
Okay, Scottsdale is the course. Overall, it's playing very well. Of course, the clubhouse is well maintained. The carts are falling apart, but everyone knows where the carts are. I mean, they're doing their best. They're rolling. That's fine, but they make some noises, but that's fine. Fairways are in good shape. There was a little issue with cutting of the greens last week, so they got chopped down pretty good. From an appearance point of view, they looked terrible. Graham sent a note back to me and said they got cut a little bit tight, but they're going to come back. And I guess after 1 week, they are coming back. that's good. It'd be good to have some sort of safeguard in place so that this doesn't happen again. And then, I guess, today there was reported that there was a leak, either a gas leak or an oil leak on one of the green machines. And so you can see traces around almost all the greens on the backside. And then there were also some pin placements on some of the scalped areas. So we know that that's gonna recover, that's good. But in the meantime, all of the greens had some areas that could be used, puttable areas, and then there were some scalps. And so the holes got put in some bad spots. And I think Bob played there today also, so he may have some comments. So overall, the course is playing great. The fairways, the roughs, the tee boxes, the limbs being picked up, the water control, everything is good except for the greens being cut too tight. So that's my report.
Any questions for Scottsdale? Thank you, Clay. Go ahead, John.
Country Club, I was able to play it this past weekend, and the course was in great shape. I got even on after the shotgun that went off earlier in the morning, and the course was still in good shape. Greens were still in good shape. Like Clay said, everybody knows the cart situation, so I'm not gonna go on that. But the pro shop, I mean, that's, as I always state, it's the gold standard. When I walk in, I'm not even in 3 steps before somebody's greeting me, asking if they can help. The inventory's always in good shape, well stocked, so top marks, and so that's what I've got for Country Club.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for the Country Club? Brad?
So I have Kingswood Burksdale and Pro Shop, excellent selection, great condition, very good presentation as always. Golf carts, I'll leave alone. It's the same as everywhere else. Overall, I had a lot of positive feedback regarding the course conditions. Greens are in good shape, fairways have improved and are filling in. I was told sod on number 16 is starting to come in, looking good. Some areas for improvement. I think this is going to be brought up, but with the recent heat, the ice makers are not able to keep up. So we need to see if we can't do something about that. Some of the forward tees could use some attention, specifically number 16. It was brought up as to whether or not we could use movable markers. I've got a picture that I can provide Graham, but wasn't able to get it emailed to you, but I can get that done if it would be helpful. Okay. Burksdale greens in good shape. Some of the fairways and rough need cut, losing a lot of balls out there. I think that's probably going to be taken care of as this weather starts cooperating just a little bit. But Kingswood, green edges need cut. And then there's some vegetation growth, tree limbs, tall grass, and things that are starting to impede some of the ball path flight from the tee boxes. And again, I have some pictures that I can share with you. I can email those over if that would help, Graham, but specifically all the tee boxes on number 11, and then the black and blue tee boxes on 17 and 18.
Okay, anything else for Kingswood Burksdale? Thank you. Jerry?
Got Highlands. We had tournament out there this last weekend, was able to play the course all the way through, and then I've visited it several times during the weeks before. Everything looks great. The fairways, again, they're perfect to me. I mean, there's still some little spots, but those little spots are filling in. You can see all of the little runners and things going through the and filling in those spots. If we can continue putting that our mix of fill in those, there's a lot of places that we can continue to keep that going. The only concern that anyone has had talked to me about is some of the larger rocks that they're putting in where we're trying to keep, where the carts are pulled off and things, some of the older golfers, some of them older than me, but are having, I'm afraid somebody's going to fall. I like the idea of the gravel in there, but I think it could be a little smaller if we could. Some of that going in there. There's just a few spots, not many, but we just might look at that. Everything else, the pro shop, everybody in there is doing a great job, very friendly. Merchandise, they keep new merchandise coming in there. They talked to you about shoes a while back, and we've got a good stock of shoes in there. But everything's going well out there.
Good. Anything else for Highlands? Okay, Drew and John, I emailed you a copy of the format that you have, and today we will reassign golf courses. So at the end of, I think it's new business, we'll reassign, so, okay? Anything else for facilities? If not, we'll move ahead to Graham. Daniel is Kimla, and she's gone, and she did not turn one in to me.
All right, so to date, year to date, we're at 28 inches of rain, which has seemed to have been a lot of rain so far this year. But looking back to last year, we were at 37 inches of rain at this time. So we're actually right on track to as kind of our average yearly rainfall if this holds up. We did have a lot of rainy days in June, however, high humidity, cloudy conditions. Had to increase our chemical usage a little bit on the bent grass screens to make sure we didn't see any disease because of those conditions. And also wanted to report we've seen no significant flooding to date on any of our courses that would typically flood, Kingsdale, Burkesdale Country Club. I don't know if that's because of the work that's happening upstream or not, but so far so good. We're definitely liking what we're seeing. It's already been covered a little bit so far, but I did add in my report, the frequency of rain events in June did cause Kyle, like he had to skip a verticut because it rained during a maintenance day. Those are the kind of things that when the humidity's high, the heat's high, the grass is growing, the greens start getting a little bit grainy, puffy, and then we verticut. It has a tendency to kind of tuft up the grass, and then when the mower comes in behind it, that's when the scalping started. So I would say that speaking to your point, how do we not have that happen again is don't fall behind, and whether we need to reschedule maintenance days because of weather or whatever the case may be, maybe that's something we need to look at with golf ops to make sure that we don't fall behind moving forward. But that's why that happened, and you and I already had an email exchange about that, Clay. So, but just to the whole group, Bermuda grass, it's a warm season turf, grows really well in summer. Some scalping is not, we're not going to lose any turf because of that. So if there's any assurance there, in fact, driving by Scottsdale today, the greens look really nice. So and have recovered quite well from just a couple days ago. So did want to make a note, the MAC team completed the work on the left-hand side of Highlands number 1, repairing that washout we had. They did a great job. They've put some riprap in the high flow areas where the water's really pouring through there. That'll stop future erosion. Greg's going to sod the bare dirt areas. It's pretty steep, so he's probably going to install some sort of fencing, probably with steel cable is what he had mentioned to me, just to make sure carts don't end up over there down in that area. The MAC team was also out helping us trim steep embankments around lakes and creeks on the country club course. They have a specialized piece of equipment. They treat the slopes on the dams of our lakes, and they were out there helping us with that. We do have an upcoming aerification on Scottsdale Brittany, August 3rd and 4th, and that'll be before our next meeting, so I did want to make note of that just so everyone's aware. And then right now during this week, we're in the middle of tee and collar aerification, so we're aerifying all our tees and collars. We've already done the Highlands, Country Club, Kingswood, Burkesdale. We're going to do Dogwood tomorrow. That process, since we started it, I put it in here a year ago, but it was actually 2 years ago when we started this process, and it's really made a positive improvement to our turf health. So we're going to be doing that practice one more time this summer. August 10th through the 13th is when that's scheduled. We're also working on getting our third pre-emergent application out on Kingswood Birchdale Country Club, all tees and fairways, collars, approaches. You guys will notice even with the very pretty aggressive pre-emergent program we're using on these courses, we still had goosegrass breakthrough in our weak areas of turf. The late freeze in March really kind of hurt some of that common Bermuda, and now we're dealing with goosegrass. We're getting out there with post-emergent herbicides, cleaning that stuff up, but it just really goes to show that, I mean, we need to get away from common Bermuda fairways if possible, if that's at all possible. It's just such a poor quality turf. So I'll say, in speaking to that, I am doing some more Zoysia sprig trials, 16 Kingswood, 18 Scottsdale. We're starting to do a little bit of work where we're planting Zoysia grass into existing Bermuda, and we're not going to remove the Bermuda. So we're going to let it see if it can kind of take over an area. We're also going to be doing some work with some seeded Zoysia grasses that are now available, doing a similar process, planting into Bermuda and then not treating the Bermuda and seeing if the Zoysia can eventually take over. And the whole reason we're doing this is potentially in the future, can we shorten that window down from 5 months of closure to convert to maybe 2 months or 3 months or something a lot shorter than 5 months? So that's why we're doing this work, to see if there's a way to improve the process that we started a year ago in Highlands, 2 years ago in Highlands. Capital project update, number 13 Country Club. Obviously that sod's established. Reed's mowed those tees out, looks good. He did aerify those tees yesterday. He plans on opening the tees up for use soon. That'll be back to normal. Kingswood fan project, everything's working except for the fans on 7. We're still waiting for the meter. Carroll Electric has the work order to do it. It hasn't been installed yet. So as soon as that comes up and running, all our fans will be working on Kingswood. Quick note, Kingswood greens are in great shape right now, especially compared to where we were looking at pictures from a year ago today, and we were already seeing pretty major damage. So despite the rain, despite the high heat and humidity, we're in good shape right now in Kingswood. Shane and his staff are doing a great job. And I mentioned this a couple meetings ago, we do have our asphalt grinder on orders. We're waiting delivery, hopefully sometime in August. And once we get that, as soon as we have time, we will begin grinding up the bumps and the humps and all the tree root affected stuff on the cart paths on all golf courses. So I don't know how long that process will take, but we will begin when we get it, as we have time, as we move into fall, when we have less golf course work we have to do, we'll certainly make a lot quicker progress. I anticipate being done certainly before the end of the year. So that's my report. Any questions?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, John.
The status of, in working with the city and protecting the greens on number 8 at the country club. Remember the discussion?
The boulders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got approval from the fire department to install the boulders. That'll be done before winter time.
Okay. Thanks.
Go ahead.
Okay, 2 things. At Highlands, it seems like there's been some herbicide put down between the fairways and the rough to kill Bermuda, maybe?
Well, we were spraying the fairways to remove the last bit of the Bermuda out of the Zoysia fairways, and that spray got a little bit out into that strip.
Okay.
We don't anticipate that fully dying. It's certainly turned brown, but we anticipate. In fact, there's some Zoysia in there. Yeah. And so Greg's kind of mowed that out to fairway height. We anticipate that will all recover and be okay. But that was a critical application we needed to make to remove the last bit of Bermuda grass out of those fairways.
Got it, thank you. Second one was trees. Last meeting, you took an action item to try to get some quotes for putting in trees.
Yes.
Can you give us an update?
Yes, and I don't have an update for you, so I will have that. I'm sorry, I dropped the ball on that one. I will get you. In fact, I'll respond before the next meeting. I'll send an email out to the group before the next meeting on that one. Sorry.
Bob.
Few things. Graham, are all your locations now fully staffed for the summer? Are you still needing help?
It's a little bit fluid. Like we were fully staffed 2 weeks ago. Currently today, no. You know, we've had some attrition, turnover that we're dealing with, but
What's the biggest obstacle to staffing? Is it wage?
I don't think we're getting the employees. So I don't know that that's the issue. I think maybe some people come out here thinking that it might be something different than it is, and then they get out and do it for a few weeks and realize that maybe they don't want to work in the, you know, the conditions we work in. So,
And then the other day, when it was a really raining day last couple weeks ago, and course opened up, it was Kingswood, but I know we have wooden bridges other places, and a couple of guys slipped on the wooden bridges because they were wet. Is there any way we can put like a sandpaper adhesive strip on those wood bridges to give walkers better footing?
that, or maybe even paint them with the grit or something. We can find some solution. Yeah.
About the safety of the stuff. Plus, I know there's sometimes those are awful wet also in the early mornings when players are out there. And then at Country Club, it seems like there's a number of areas within a 15-yard radius of the edge of the fairways that's full of crabgrass and clover. Did we not spray that, or did we spray it didn't take, or do we not have the money to spray it?
So I'm assuming, well, at least I haven't seen a lot of crabgrass. I've seen a lot of goosegrass in the rough. Is that, you're seeing crab?
I mean, when they pointed it out to me, I went out and looked, and there's a lot of crabgrass and clover.
If you're seeing clover, that's probably an area we did not pre-emerge. If you're seeing goosegrass, that's breakthrough, is what we're dealing with there. So to answer your question, out of 120 total acres that we mow at a country club, we're only spraying about 90. So we're around 70%. We're not spraying wall to wall currently with our pre-emergent program.
It being our flagship, supposedly our flagship location, I think it's important to put on the best cosmetic part of the golf course and play it really can. And then a couple other things. Mac's been doing a great job on that #1 Highlands project. That really is looking good.
It looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, really good, a big improvement, a lot safer. Man, really impressed with that. And that's it. Oh, no. I'll also agree with you. Today compared to a Saturday, the greens at Scottsdale have really come back. You do have a piece of equipment with hydraulic leaks or some kind of leak there because they're vertical lines in there that are going across. Great job.
Have you noticed the zoysia on the fairways? Have you noticed any of it creeping into the rough? Would that give you an indication that maybe zoysia could take over?
Maybe not so much there, Dave, but one area I've really gotten on board with this idea that maybe it can take over is in the approaches and the collars. So the chemical that we spray is very toxic to bent grass, so we did not want to get too close to the greens with it. Last year, there was areas, specifically 1 and 8 approach, where I didn't think we had any zoysia at all. I just didn't think it took at all. Fast forward to this summer, and you go out there and you see quite a bit of zoysia in the Bermuda. So I think there may be an opportunity for it to, and it doesn't even have to completely take it over. If it can get to 70% and we spray that herbicide at that point, maybe we're closed for 45 days, 60 days, or whatever to let it finish up. So I think that there might be an opportunity there, but certainly pretty early to say at this point.
I think it's really smart that you're doing these experiments. Could save us money long term, no question. And so I applaud you for trying to get those experiments done and see what happens over the next year or so. So thanks for doing that. Absolutely.
Any other questions for Graham? Thank you, Graham, we appreciate. Daryl?
All right, I'll jump into the rounds report. As Graham alluded to earlier, we had a pretty wet June, but despite that, we still beat our numbers for last year. We didn't beat 24, but we were really close. So the days it was raining pretty hard, and we didn't have many golfers out there. But we'll look at our total rounds, ended at 24,591, up on last June by 1,200 and change. Members at 14,000, up by 500. Guests, 10,000, up by 700. cave bookings at 67. So when it was raining, we had people going into the cave, which was a good thing, and enjoying that facility. Year to date, this is a big one. We had 104,595. That's 16,700 over last year, and 8,000 over 2024, which is record setting. So those numbers are astonishing. We're busy when we're busy, when we open, so it's great on that. Year to date, the cave bookings are at 587. Remember again, for the new guys, that is one person with one booking. They can bring up to 6 people, so we're not counting the heads that are in there. It's just one booking. So that's kind of how it works on that. Getting on to the range buckets, we had 46,085, up by 16,000 over last year. One thing I did do is I broke it down. If you looked from previous years, I've always just given that number. I went on and broke it down for members at 32,000 and guests buying buckets at 13,964. So we've got a lot of use in the range, not only from our membership, from guests as well. I'm going to include that in the reports moving forward so everybody can kind of see that. So those are the rounds reports. Any question on the rounds right now before I jump into some other topics I want to discuss? All good?
Regarding guests, are you seeing that at the courses, particularly Scottsdale and Highlands, or are you seeing that more at Tanyard Creek?
They everywhere. It's about the same percentage everywhere as kind of where it is as far as that goes. We see a lot of members bringing their guests, hitting golf balls before they play and then heading on out and playing, which is good. So we're getting some money revenue on that. Any other questions?
So Scottsdale has picked up considerably.
Yes. That new range, if anybody hasn't been down there, you gotta go down and have a look at it. It's a great job. That was Mac and Graham, and I mean, it's phenomenal. So it's really good, especially when we have rainy days, we can get on the mats there, where previously it was shut down for any bit of rain. We didn't get to practice out there, which is really good. So there we go. One thing I do want to allude to, last month I talked about the carts. Everyone's talking about the carts, and they're old. Yes, they're old, they're tired. They've been around, they still do move, and when we start getting the carts or the cart pass group down, that's definitely going to help. But I did say last meeting that October I go for bids. That's this year, October, for bids. We only get the new carts next year, October. So just so everybody's aware of that, that is where it is, that's in the contract. We do have parts coming in, and I've got one guy to work on 385 carts. So he will be doing changes, putting those windshields, clamping them down, brakes will get tightened up. But the problem with that too is the carts are out on the golf course so much too. When a rainy day comes, Mr. Terry jumps in, I'm going to country club and I'm going to get under so many carts, and then all of a sudden it starts to warm up. All right, that was just 2 hours of work and the carts are back out again. So that's the deal, what we're dealing with. So October I get the bids for the budget, so I know where I'm at, because I'm going to have 3 to 4 months on the budget season of 2027 that I've got to factor in. That's why I'm doing it. The cart exchange, it's a big fleet, will be around October, so it'll be through summer of next year. And we're at the mercy of what company we go to too, on how they can get into us. All right.
Question on the carts, is there a big difference between, are you doing a 3-year lease at this point?
No, we do 5-year leases on lithiums.
5-year? Is there a better price point where maybe, because we get into this last year or so.
Every year.
And that's what happens. Right. And so is there a price point where we can do it in a 4-year lease or a 3-year lease to where they don't get so run down? And how much more would that be and all that?
I can't answer you on that, but I can tell you some of the private clubs do 2 years, and they pay a lot for those carts. It's excessive. So I would have to get that, and that's when I go out in October. I present to Tom, then to the board, the different years, and we'll bring it and I'll show it to you all, and that's where it is. Right now, I don't know the prices, because I heard a little rumor out there, course down the road just got their new ones, and just from their 4.5 years ago, the increase on the carts is 25%. It's gone up in 4.5 years, 25%. That's just out there. So Tom, don't stop sweating. It's coming, but everything's gone up. That's just across the board. but I will share the different years differently when we get to it.
Daryl, when you guys go out for those bids, are you gonna be looking at the same type of carts that we have, or are you gonna look for improvements where we might get GPS trackers or anything like that that might be able to help with some of the?
I will give everything. We do 3 bids, so we'll get 3 companies, which are the main ones, EasyGo, Yamaha, and Club Car. I'll get bids with what we're doing and the control that we have out there. I have been asked to go on by Tom to get a GPS bid in there. 6 years ago, it was expensive. It was crazy. But here we are, and I know they've come a long way. They're a little tighter, they're a little smaller, and I know a lot of places have them. So majority of people out there, as they get out there, I will bring that bid to you or to the board. And I'll give it with everything from all the different things that we presented.
It's just good if we think about, okay, yeah, it's gonna cost this much up front, but what is it gonna save us in the long run? You know, I know people want marshals and stuff, but if you can have GPSs in that, you can send people messages, you can keep them from going off paths and different things like that. So just something to consider.
Yep, yes, sir. You'll get the bid with them.
So Daryl, just because we're bringing up the GPS, is that something that this committee, we need to look at recommending as far as the budget considerations?
I don't think so. Tom, you would be more on that. I've always presented it, what I feel as a professional, and what I see in, day out, presented, and that kind of where it goes, but that's a board
I'd say it's
decision.
probably a little bit beyond the purview of this committee, simply because you're really talking about finances at that point. We're definitely, like Derek said, we're gonna get the bids, you know, and you don't have to be a genius to say, look, if you make the lease term shorter, it's gonna cost more, and if you add additional features, it's gonna cost more. And if you talk about a 4 or 5 year gap between replacing fleets, it's gonna cost more. So if you start adding more and more and more, it might become cost prohibitive. We're gonna try and do as much as we can. I like the features on the GPS where you can keep people out of areas and you can automatically slow them down on steep slopes, you know, whether they like to or not. You know, those are neat features, and the yardage and so forth. So we'll see what we can do, and we'll be very transparent with it.
It's expensive.
That's not cheap.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, that's golf cart story. It took a little bit longer than I anticipated. Are we still on time, Ruth? We
Go ahead.
tracking good? Okay.
You're in good shape.
All right. One of the things I want to challenge this committee, and I think it's super important. Canyon Creek, you know, when we built that, we had no idea on the usage. I just knew what my office used to be down there and the old usage and how busy we were and what we're doing down there, the clientele that we have down there, and it's great. Nothing absolutely is fantastic. It's the most talked about driving range in Northwest Arkansas. So with that and success of that, a couple things have come up. One of them is dress code. You know, it is it's a semi-workout place because you're going down there and you can sit down there and you hit a bunch of golf balls, but it's also a golf facility. It's not a golf course. We have I don't know if you all remember, a few of you were on the board when we brought the committee, we brought the dress code on the golf course, and we visited about it. We came up, we did some changes on it, so that stuck. But we don't have a dress code for Canyon Creek. So I want to bring that to the board to think about this, ready to come up with something. It doesn't have to be done today, just something, write an email. I can start an email chain. What do you all think is tolerable? Or what all would you think the membership want as far as dress code down at Canyon Creek? That's a challenge I would like to put to the board for you all to think about it. We have all sorts of age groups down there and all sorts of people enjoying golf. And then remember, that's where we catch them. And from there, they go to the golf course and play golf. So that's kind of where I am today on that aspect.
I'm not going to tell Ruth what to do because I never do that. But you know, it might make sense to create a subcommittee to review it. We do have, right or wrong, I call it, we have a little bit more of the tennis shoe crowd that goes down to Canyon Creek, the less experienced golfers. And so Their attire isn't necessarily traditional with regular golf courses. And so, 20 years ago, plus the debate was jeans on the golf course, and now it's, you can see Tiger Woods wearing a collarless golf shirt that's really nice, but it's collarless. And so we just need some additional guidance from the committee, and we would ask that the committee create a subcommittee to kind of discuss it and come back with recommendations, because we kind of feel we're caught in the middle and which way to go.
Does any other facility around us have a dress code that you're aware of?
Not on the range. I reached out to a private golf course that I will not say, and on the range they allow more of a workout, but not a gold gym workout shirt. If you're tired, can you picture the string with the gold? That's kind of where it is, but they do allow t-shirts.
I'd rather not picture it, thank you.
Show the guns. But so keep that in mind too, and do some research. I mean, I challenge you all to reach out. You can't look at the attire that you have at Topgolf. Go to Topgolf to do that. That's totally different. That's a ball crowd. But most of them, there's nothing like Tanya Creek around here. There used to be a driving range down the road on Rainbow Curve, but the money for that land got way more and the guy sold it. So there's really not a range you can go to if you don't belong to a club or like us. That's why this place is so busy. That's why Tanya Creek is busy. 13,000 rounds of just buckets, that's a lot. I didn't expect that. So let's get a subcommittee, and maybe I've got one more thing once you guys decide on that.
Okay, Brett, I'm asking you to chair a golf committee. I'm gonna bring you in fast and furious. You wanna find 2 other members of the committee to join you, and then we'll have Darryl be your liaison and go through him and visit with him about it to get some ideas. The rest of us, if you're not on the subcommittee, and I'm sure he will appoint it in the next couple of days, and get it to the rest of the group. If you're not on the committee, if you have suggestions, and we hope you do, send them to Brad and get some conversation going and some, it's right now, for me, it's hard to imagine other than what's appropriate. And so what we're dealing with is what's appropriate. And it's kind of an open-ended situation, so it's gonna be not an easy task, but it's something we do need to look into. But if you will do that for us, we'd appreciate. The next couple of days, you'll find 2 others to join you, and then get the rest of us, and the rest of us will.
Good. And I'm gonna, because you nominated somebody, I'm gonna nominate somebody to work with me. I'm gonna get Paul Gomez to work with me. He's only got a month left, just so you'll know. He's got 1.5. Paul Gomez is retiring. We're super excited for him, for his retirement. That was one of my announcements I was gonna say. He kind of came to me a while back. We talked about it, and he's excited to retire, but we won't be losing Paul. He made that. He says, I can't just go home. He goes, I'm going to be around. It'll be around my membership. I got to do my trivia nights and stuff. He goes, but I got to cut back. It's a lot of work. As we get busier, it's tougher work. So I'm excited for him. That's happening. So, but I will get Paul to sit in on that, because he has seen over the last 5-6 months the different crowd attended, so he can really weigh in on some of it. And he's been around too, so a little shorter than me, but yeah. So we'll get with that as well. I didn't mean on that part. His term has been shorter than me. The other thing I just want to say, something was pretty interesting. Dogwood, remember we bought up the cut-through road at Dogwood, the maintenance road, and I asked everybody not to use it. People continued, so we actually blocked it off for a couple of weeks, and everybody went around. It was all good. Well, just the other day we moved that block, and everybody went straight back to using it. So please, if you're playing in your groups, it's a liability. It is straight up a liability deal with our golf carts. Do not use that road. So if you're playing with groups, please stop them. Okay, I'm asking you all. So that's all I got.
Yes, Clay.
2 questions, both on Tanyard. There's fence posts that are going up by the sidewalk. Can you give an update on when that will be completed and when the sidewalk will be open?
Yes, perfect. So we had to wait for the concrete to get poured and to meet code by the city and all that type of stuff. We got that all done. And that fence is for safety reasons. As you can see, we've done it in 3 stages, just so we won't have to close Tanya Creek. Because we closed it one time to do the crosswalk with the painting, and man, I got killed. Email after email after email. So what we did with the fence people, they've done a great job. They put the posts in last Wednesday. Today they went on and put in the actual fence, which is black. Looks really clean cut. They put a pole on top for extra support because it is 8 foot. So any wind, any damages, any wildlife, it's more stability up top. And that was done today and completed. Now the next thing that's coming along is the plastic sleeves that will be wound in between the fence, and they're going to be a dark green. So it's got a good clean look to stop the golf balls coming through. Once that's done next Wednesday, I'll pull those signs off, and that car path will be, or the walking path will be open. Safe for everybody. That's the biggest thing, is the safety. That's why that was put there. Yes.
Thank you. The second question is, putting green is in really good shape, but there's no trim around the putting green. Was that by intention, or is there a chance that there could be trim put around the putting green?
When you say trim, do you mean a collar?
Color.
No, we have no plans to mow a collar there. Well, take that back, because that's all maintained by the autonomous mower. I can check with Reed and see if there's a way to mow a collar there, but we do have the rock walkway very close to that green on the one side, so it might be only on 3/4 of that green or something along those lines. So.
Anything else for Daryl?
Hey, Daryl, I noticed that at several of the courses, we have put labels on the rakes and where to place them in the sand. Is that something that, okay, Graham, is that something you intend on doing at all the courses?
I missed the first part of that.
Putting labels on the rakes to tell people. We've had this discussion that there's actually not a recommended, but we put
recommendation
labels on the rakes as far to place them in the sand. Is that something you're doing at all of the courses?
No, but we can potentially look into that. Yeah.
Is that a carryover, though, that the label is on the rakes?
That was not something that we set out to.
It could be a carryover from way back when.
What course was that
Yeah,
done
what
at?
course is it?
Country Club and Scottsdale. I don't think they were on Kingswood.
Dogwood?
They were done at Dogwood as well? Yeah, yeah. Lee and, yeah.
Okay, anything else for Daryl? Thank you, Daryl. Alex, you're up.
All right, lots of events going on this time of year. Since last month, we hosted our Alzheimer's benefit tournament on June the 20th at Kingswood. Had 120 players. Everything seemed to go really well with that. This past Saturday, we had the Friends of Highlands out at the Highlands. 124 players. Went really well without a hitch, actually. Good preparation for that one, so really happy with it. A few things coming up. We've got the couples mixer at Dogwood. That is next weekend, the 18th and 19th. We need a little bit more participation for it, so if you're planning on playing, we ask that you get signed up pretty much as soon as possible for that one. Beyond that, we've got the All in the Family event at Kingswood on July 25th. Right now, we're at 116 players for that, so really only got just a couple of teams left to go. So if you're planning on playing in the All in the Family, really you've got just a day or two to get signed up for that. And then this coming Friday, you'll see us release the men's and the senior men's club championship information. That'll be held at Bella Vista Country Club here on August the 29th and the 30th, 2-day event there. And you'll see that stuff come out this Friday. And it'll have all the information on divisions and tees and things like that for you to kind of look through and kind of choose where is correct for you. On to the programming side of things, we started our second camp of junior week today. 50 kids out in the 94-degree weather, so everybody had a good time with that. Went through a lot of Gatorade, my goodness. Let's see, Hannah's got a lot of things going on for Futures Academy. So in August and September, she's got registration already open for homeschool classes, toddlers and tees, and another intro to golf class. She's starting a new one up, which she's calling the high school prep. She's wanting to teach kind of high school kids how to practice or how to, be more efficient with their practice time. So look for that if you've got a high school student that's looking to get a little bit better as you go through there. Op 36 classes, they're live for all our fall events. So we've got live sign up ready for ladies, juniors, and men right now. All that'll start somewhere in the middle of August. So we're rolling and rolling and rolling. Any questions on anything?
I just want to put it out there. The other day, Nate does all the web for Op 36, all the classes, and I was just going through and making sure they're all active. We have 19 classes going, sign up and everything. Years ago when I started here, we had one junior camp.
Yeah.
That was it. It's crazy how it's going. So
and mostly in pretty much full participation
Yeah.
too. So all the programs are going.
If anybody says you want to join camp, get on our website, have a look. You can click on there. It explains it. It's phenomenal. Team's doing a great job.
Anything else for Alex? Thank you, Alex. Tom?
Yes, please. You can hit the button. Outstanding. You
Thank you.
qualified.
Thank you.
Yes, come on. Okay, so this is the annual committee member training. We do this every single year. It's for new members and to remind old members in case they've forgotten. And it's going to line up and load up in just a second. And I promise not to take too much of your time. But I did this earlier today for Lakes Committee, and next Monday I will do it for the Rec Committee. So here we go. All right, so in total, we have over 40 dedicated volunteers that help serve our community, whether it's the joint advisory committees and the board of directors and so forth, so very involved. The joint advisory committee purpose, it is the duty of each committee to discuss, analyze, and propose solutions for problems and opportunities within its area of concern and make recommendations to management or the board. And you'll notice that I referenced policy 1.04. This is straight from our policies, and all our policies are available on our website. So what I've done in this training is just kind of sample different portions of the policy that are relevant. Structure. JCs are appointed under the authority of the bylaws. Their composition and duties shall be directed by the board and in accordance with stated policy. So it's just creating the hierarchy. The board is on top, the board of directors, and then they have multiple committees that are below it that report directly to the board. Liaisons. So we have our 3 liaisons here, and their job is to help facilitate communication between the board and the committees. And so they transfer this knowledge that they learned from the committees to the board to make sure that the board is educated when the board is making decisions, and so forth when information flows downward. Okay, so they're the conduit between the two. And each committee member, so in addition to serving on the board of directors, Dave and all his, he's really pleased with this, also is a member of 2 additional committees because he loves meetings as much as possible. Management representative. So for each of the committees, we're going to have at least 1 management representative. But in this case, we have Daryl, we have Graham, we have Alex, we have myself, and we have Jessica, our corporate secretary. So you have multiple management representatives, so we can answer questions like we're doing. And then Kyle voluntarily comes out here because he's got nothing to do else to do at this time of day. We do the same thing for the Lakes Committee, where Rick is going to be present, and for the Rec Committee, we're going to have Roland present. So we always have at least 1 or 2 management representatives that attend. The Joint Advisory Committee are expected to submit their monthly minutes and provide a brief report to the board of directors. So you may or may not be aware of this, but each month Ruth comes to the board meeting and she makes a presentation and gives the board an update on this is what occurred at the most recent golf committee meeting, and she covers all that, and she loves the meeting so much she stays for the entire time period. So lucky her. Advisory, so it's in the name, Joint Advisory Committee, and so your job is to advise the community, the golf community. Your authority is limited, it's respected, we want to listen to you, we always want to listen to you, but your authority is limited in that it's an advisory. So when you create your budget recommendations, it's budget recommendations. We want to listen to them as much as we can, but it's not a directive, it's a recommendation. Recording of meetings. So these meetings, we have multiple cameras, we have the microphones. Behind that tinted window is Chris, and he produces this and he live streams it. And so we believe in transparency, and so we live stream. You can go onto our website and you can find 10 years worth of these meeting minutes or recordings. So in addition to the minutes which are recorded, you can also see the recordings. Okay, open meetings. So we have, I always call this the bullpen. We often will have individuals that'll come join us at the bullpen because this is an open meeting. And we welcome the community to come and see what's going on, what the golf committee is doing, and so forth. In addition to that, we want community input. So in your golfing, a lot of you guys are members of golf leagues and clubs and so forth. We want you to get out and talk to them, get their perspectives and so forth, get their recommendations. We encourage that. So not only are you speaking for yourself, you're speaking for maybe 5, 10, 20 other people, and you can speak to them. Hey, we're working on the budget. What do you think? What's your recommendation? And talk to your fellow golfers. Also, we have an open forum. So typically at the end of the meeting, Ruth is going to call and say, hey, for those from the bullpen, if you'd like to come up and voice your concerns or questions and so forth. And then Jessica is going to time that because they're limited to 3 minutes. And if you organize your thoughts, you can say just about everything in 3 minutes. And so we encourage the community to come forward and give us their input. Handouts. This committee usually doesn't have that many handouts, but if there are any, the community is available or can get access to all those. Years ago, we used to have, well, this handout was for the committee and this handout was for the public, and don't mix those up, and that's not acceptable. So any handout is fair game for anybody. Okay. Meeting length. We try and always keep the meeting length to an hour. Anytime the meeting length goes beyond an hour, you can usually review the meeting and go, we could have probably cut that. And you want to be cognizant because with a number of staff members here, it's costly. If you go on an hourly basis, it's costly. So we want to make sure that we're efficient with our meetings. Area of concern. It's always important that we talk about, well, we're in the golf committee, we want to talk about golf. Every once in a while, this happened a couple months ago, we were in the Lakes Committee meeting and someone raised their hand and started talking about the golf courses. It's not our area of concern, it's the Lakes Committee. So we want to talk about our area of concern, and we talked, and I referenced that earlier today. It's close to golf, it is golf, but I referenced really cart leases are not the area of concern for the golf committee. So being respectful of your area of concern, that's important. Uniquely compiled information. So every once in a while, a property owner or a committee member will come to us and say, I want this information in this really granular way, and I want you to run this long report, and it should be 20 pages long, and we're like, timeout. We don't do that. Now, we provide stats. Well, Daryl provides stats on golf on a monthly basis, and we include that information on a stats report that is available on our website. We have 15 years worth of audited financials available on our website. So those are the standard reports that we're going to provide to the membership. We're not going to uniquely compile information because some of the information that we get requested for would take hours and hours to compile. So, and we have a policy 1.01 that backs that up. Annual budget recommendations. So you're doing that today, in fact. We encourage you to give recommendations, but most of all, rank them. What's most important to the committee? By ranking them, we can see what's most important and what we can do within our budget constraints. Respectful of staff time. We always want to make sure that we're respectful of staff time. We've had situations way in the past where they'd corner Kyle and have a 3-hour meeting. Well, he needs to be on the golf course. That's where his job is. And so make sure you're respectful of the time. I mean, I'm not discouraging you from talking to Kyle, but let's just make sure that we limit the time to a reasonable amount of time. Microphone usage. So we learned today you have to hit the red button to activate it. But here's the thing that what too many people do. They hit the button and they go way back here and start talking. The microphone's not going to pick it up. It's just not. So try and lean forward like I am. Also, the microphone really is, this entire thing is really the microphone. So if you go like this, you put a piece of paper on it, it's gonna be broadcast out. So keep it somewhat close and talk into it. Don't go all the way back here, because I get regular complaints from viewers at home that said, I didn't hear a word. I didn't hear what they said. Well, it's because they leaned way back here. So, subcommittee, we talked about this earlier, the committee can create a subcommittee to work on a specific task, which Ruth just did. Now, the subcommittee does not have to be open to the community. They can meet on their own, and we encourage that because the subcommittee can then work on a specific project. We don't want to have more than 4 people on that committee because we don't want to overpower. The subcommittee the entire committee should not call themselves a subcommittee to operate, out of sight of the community. That's not acceptable. So it should be smaller. I think Ruth said 2 additional people, probably more than 3 total is more than enough for this task, and so forth. We always want to focus on the member experience. Always try and come into the golf facility. You're doing your report on your golf course. Try and view it from a golfer, from a out of town person, first time there. Sometimes you walk by something 100 times, you don't even notice it's in bad shape. Try and take a step back and have fresh eyes and say, you know what, I think I've walked by this too many times. This needs to be fixed. So try and have fresh eyes when you come to the golf course and offer up things. And many thanks. Thank you for your time and volunteering. It's always very appreciated. Any questions? Outstanding. We're done for another year.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions for Tom? Okay. Board liaisons, David, Bob, Kim.
I got a lot to say,
3 minutes?
and I can say it all in 3 minutes. Well, I can say most of it in 3 minutes.
Start the clock.
First of all, I want to recognize, for Tom's benefit, Daryl and Alex, on June 30th, I believe it was, I was playing behind a guy and his wife. They were in the middle of number 2 Highlands, driving all over the fairways like they were flying a kite, trying to fly a kite. I sent a picture to Daryl, he got a hold of Alex, and they sent him a letter. So if you see something, get it to Daryl or get it to the person at the pro shop, whoever's in charge, and they're taking care of that, at least until we can get some other remedy. It really helps with controlling the condition of the golf course and having Graham's group have an easier time of taking care of our facilities. Second thing I want to talk about are practice golf balls. I had about 18 or 20 guys complaining to me about the condition of our golf balls. So I talked to Alex about it the other day. We pay 75 cents a ball for these golf balls. And Daryl was kind enough that maybe he can share, when I'm finished with my portion, a number of reasons for these cuts. This bucket came from 3 buckets that I checked out yesterday at Tanya Creek. I went and got a bucket, threw them down on the ground to hit them, took the ones that were bad out. I did that 3 times, and this is how many bad ones were in 3 buckets of balls. I think we need to look at a better ball, and I would explain that. A little bit earlier, Daryl talked about how we have the premier practice facility. Well, premier practice needs premier equipment. We sell equipment to our members. We should provide them with better balls. So I'd like your committee to think about that. You can look at these. I took them home last night and got railed of stealing golf balls. And I took my time, about 45 minutes, to mark up all the spots on all these balls. So Daryl can fill you in on that. Now, last thing, and I'm gonna say, my name's Bob Brooks, and I live at Superman's Girlfriend Lane in Bella Vista. My member number is 109-726. When it comes to a dress code, we are the premier facility. I can tell you, from my experience, I think the way we dress puts off, first of all, a certain vibe to the community. But if you go down there and use that Tanya Creek facility or any of our facilities, and you see these little kids coming in, the last thing in the world I want to have a grandchild of mine ask me is, what does Goldie's Cabaret and Tiki Bar mean, Grandpa? And those are the kind of t-shirts, if you say, oh, it's okay to wear t-shirts, well, it should be golf equipment. This isn't Top Golf. Top Golf is a bowling alley atmosphere. We are not a bowling alley atmosphere. So I would encourage when your committee talks about that, this is a collarless golf shirt, comes from a pro shop, very acceptable. I think we need to set an example for our younger players, for the younger kids coming up, and for people that are coming to visit us, that we have expectations. If we look good and take care of we're showing them that we take care of the things that we have. And that, to me, is a very important part of what we can do to improve golf here in Bella Vista. Thank you very much.
Bob, I see a very easy solution to the golf balls. You're a member of the board. Recommendation to the board for the budget is give Daryl more money so we can buy new practice balls.
Okay, well, we're killing the budget with golf. We got plenty of extra money in golf right now. We have more than enough to buy better golf balls. So there you go.
Okay, so make sure that happens when the budget comes out. Okay? Anything else? Dave, Kim? Okay. Anything from the public? Want to give your name, if you would, please? And your 3 minutes.
3 minutes. My name's Hal Scoggins. I came real quickly to complain about the placement of the white tee box on Scottsdale number 13. I don't want to waste my 3 minutes asking why it was put there, but I just want to point out that that's not where it's supposed to be. White tee box is supposed to be 58 yards in front of the yellow tee box. Right now it's 5 at the most. And that made the number 15 handicap hole on that course now probably about the number 2 or 3, I think. I'd like it moved back. Just personally, I don't know how anybody else feels. I had one quick conversation after I finished golf today. The guy said, well, he was at some golf association meeting earlier in the year, and it was put to the group, said, hey, how about we put the white tee box back where it belongs? Well, that's not where it belongs, according to the scorecard. So I move it, we put it back up where it used to be. Dave, I see Dave.
I'll address it because it was my suggestion. And I feel like that is the way the hole was designed. I think the only other option for a white tee box is either in the drop area or next to the red tee box, which is much too short. Unless we want to make that a drivable par 4, but again, maybe that changes the handicap again. I agree with you, Hal, in that if we do keep the tee box where it is, down below it, and I wasn't just, I don't have that much power that I can dictate where all tee boxes go. I suggested it was moved. I do think that the handicap is unfair from that tee box. I think that some of those could be adjusted. That's a USGA thing, that more than it is a course thing. But it might be something that needs to be reevaluated. Same with maybe number 12 at Scottsdale. Since the green was leveled, it's not nearly as egregious a par 3 as it used to be, and maybe that was already adjusted.
That was
It was already adjusted.
That was all adjusted.
So it's a fair point by you. I just think the hole was designed to play that way. Maybe the correction is to move the yellow tee box back. I have no idea.
My only comment to that would be, that's not what the scorecard says. I don't know what it was designed, or when the scorecard was.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, that's all. Oh. Yeah, I've got a little over a minute left. I heard the thing about GPSs on carts. Please, God, don't do that. I have yet to go to a golf course that had those things, that you didn't get killed out in places telling you this is a restricted area when there's no possible reason why you should not be able to go there. I'd have them die on the cart path by the tee box. Please, no. That's all mine.
Thank you.
Thanks, Howard.
I did not put them up to that.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? Okay, thank you. Old business, budget for 2027. This is the order when we put through the vote on the last meeting after we discussed it and put through to the vote. This is the way it came out. So today I'm asking you, do you have a strong opinion that something should be moved elsewhere? If not, we'll turn it in as we want it.
So, yes, so I'm not certain the signage needed on course. I'm gonna give you some very specific examples of concern. All right, as you guys know, I live on the 9th fairway. And to date is that about a week and a half ago, I had middle of the day, course is open. I had I'm gonna say a man and woman with a baby carriage walking up the maintenance path. They literally stopped right in the maintenance path during open play. First one. Second one is that when I was leaving Tanyard one day, as I'm coming up to the 6th par 3, I had a family of 5 walking underneath the bridge, coming across the cart path on their way to Tanyard. There is no signage anywhere that talks about pedestrian traffic on our golf course during open play. So if I'm walking off of Dogwood, coming off the backside where the creek is, I can walk up the 10th, I can come off of Tanyard, I can come off of the golf course here, just come out of the clubhouse. I'm not certain, well, where I'm sitting, I'm saying that there is a safety concern because pedestrians are coming across our golf course during open play. And so I'm not talking about directional signage for a golf cart or where the hole is. I'm just talking about pedestrian traffic that's on our golf course. Now I know the rules say is that you're not supposed to be on the golf course, but I mean, when you got someone coming off a Tanyard off of the parking lot, right, and they're coming across number 7 or coming up on 6, they don't know because there's no indication at all that it's open play.
I would say that's an issue. See something, say something.
Yeah, we always want to make sure we find out in a timely manner. And when it comes to signage, we do have signage out there that you can't be on the golf course. Do we have it wall to wall? No. If we had it wall to wall, would they still walk by it? Yes. Mm-hmm. We included in the newsletter, you know, not just the golf newsletter. We included in the general newsletter. So I think the important thing is you got to let us know, and don't let us know. Unfortunately, this is what frustrates Daryl is he gets complaints. I saw this 2 weeks ago. You can't do anything about it. Call right away, and we'll try and send someone out there and address it. If you were to attend, each of the JACs, like I do and Jessica does, what you would learn is at every single meeting, we get a request for a new sign. We have so many signs out there, and from a liability purposes, we're good. We have insurance, we're covered. So don't worry about the safety issue. I mean, if someone goes on, you know, if someone walks across the freeway and gets injured, that's on
Yeah,
them.
and Tom, you're right, but you made the reference for guests. No, you made the reference to members. I'm talking about people who are coming down from the Tanyard.
See something, say something.
Yeah.
You got
And so these are not, these are people that, first off, I'm not even certain they understand walking on the golf course means, right, during open play. So I picked the group up and took them back up to Tanner on my golf cart to get them off the golf course, right?
They actually not only said something, you did something.
I did something, absolutely.
Outstanding. But, and just for the new committee members, this is the ranking, and so, and this was covered in previous months. We can't do all these. We can't even do the top 3. I mean, it's just too much money. So what you will find is we will try and do the top one or the one, or, you know, we'll look at the cost, maybe it's the second one, and then we might drop down to number 7 because that's affordable. And so we try and do as much as we can, but just recognize we can't do all this. It's not in the budget.
Anybody else see movement that should be made? I mean, it's been discussed and cussed and moved around and everything else several times. And I think that the more that the Highlands grew in, the stronger number 1 became.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning, it was kind of shaky, but as it grew in and people are playing it, they said, well, that's a good idea. So, okay. Anything that needs to be changed? As he said, they won't all happen, but that's our recommendation as to, and that's our advice. Okay, it's not a demand. And there you go, sir. You want it signed, sealed, and delivered?
We will file this in the appropriate.
I'll bet you will.
Kidding,
I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you, so. Okay, we've got an issue. Go ahead with ice machines before we start the.
So this comes up every year, every single year since we put those ice machines in. When COVID came around, we got a grant that didn't cost us anything, but before that, I never had any complaints because everybody bought their own coolers, bought their own cups, filled it all up. We put those ice machines in, and those were the size we could get with the money that we had, or that they gave to us. We put them all in, and they all work. They all work. They are just not big enough. So let me tell you a quick story. I was at a golf course walking with my daughter playing. It's private. They had a $30,000 ice machine with cups all the way around it. I know Bob's seen them at places, everything. We're walking in this hot. I go up at the turn. My daughter started on 1, so I come around, ready to go. I go up there, and I pull my cup up to get it, and there's no ice coming out, just water. The pro walks out there, I'm like, what's going on? He goes, you know it doesn't work. I said, I know, I'm just picking on you, and I walk off. They can't keep up. It's what it is. It's the ice, it's in the heat, it's where they sit. It is what it is. It's nice to have them. They still produce water, and that's where it is. So one thing, it's advertised. We haven't advertised in a while, but we do have it. We all have bigger ice machines in the car ponds. Load yourself up. We do it all the time. Dogwood has it sitting there in a bucket. That's where you get it. Don't wait till you get out to, especially if you go on Highlands, it's on hole 7. You're almost through the whole 9. You only got 2 more holes. You can stop by the car pond to get it. We're there to help, but don't, when you go and there's no ice at 2 o'clock or in a shotgun when somebody starts, it just takes 7 groups to fill up their bubble cups and it's out of ice. That's kind of where it is, but I look back on minutes, this comes up every time in July. It's kind of where it is, but it would cost us an arm and a leg to change them out because you'd have to rebuild them, have it, but even then, we're not guaranteed that the new ones or bigger ones would still have ice at 95 degrees outside at 1 o'clock, that's the sun's beating on them. That's my say, and if that was a little too passionate, I apologize.
The only thing that I've got is those ice machine, the ice that they put out for us. They've always told us that's non-potable. Just use them in your ice chest. You can't put them in your cups and that kind of thing. So is there, I mean, I don't know why, I mean, if they're putting it out there, then for drinks, and I know those don't keep up. I mean, there's no way they're going to. I mean, if you start the shotgun halfway around, they're gonna be empty. But is there that ice, can it be directly out of the machine, or, I mean, I know they put it out.
It is directly out of the machine through a filter. So that's when we put it out there first thing in the morning, it is clean. However,
First towel.
when the first guy comes by and throws his towel in there or hat in there, I can't guarantee it. So that's why we say, it's better to go to the cop on with your cup and go fill up with the big cubes and you're good to go. You've also got ice at home. That's where it is. So that's why we say, do whatever you want. I've opened some of them and I've seen grass in there. How does the grass get in that bucket? I mean, in that deal. I know how it got in there. Somebody's like, oh, my towel's dry. I'm gonna put it in there and try to get some water and put it out and walk. I can't control people. We can't control people. Alex is the same way. It's we've got cart barns that have a filtrated system because that ice that we use from the cart barns goes into the coolers at all those full stations where you can get your cold water. So that is good ice. But when we put it out there, that's not manned. I can't control it.
There's a couple of spots that get rated by UPS drivers and other commercial ones.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything we can do about that?
We have asked, we've written emails, we've got the signs up there. You're talking about Dogwood, right there, that drive-in and Highlands. We have done everything. I've asked a friend who lives on that hole to let us know. And they go there for the bathroom and then they go on and fill up their cups and then they leave. Yeah, I don't know what to do on that.
Anything else? And let's hope for 10 degrees less next week. Okay, next item is gonna be real quick. You each have a number? I happen to draw number 1 for Kimala. Burksdale Kingswood, she's choosing. Who has number 2? Nobody? You have 2 choices there. Okay, what course? If you would, please choose one that you just haven't had. Which one? Scottsdale? Number 3? Highlands? 4? 4 was in there. 5? What course? Dogwood. That must mean you're number 6.
I am.
You want Country Club or Tanyard?
You provide shadows.
I want Tanyard.
Okay. Okay. Did you get all those, John? Okay. And since we've got the situation with the attire covered with Brad, he does not take one because we appoint him to other duties as assigned, one of those deals, as comes up and the secretary doesn't take it. The only other issue other item I have is the committee will meet right afterwards and discuss the open position. And we'd like to clean that up as fast as we can. And other than that, I don't have anything. Does anybody have anything else? I know it was a lengthy meeting, but we had several things we needed to discuss that brought the length on. We stand adjourned.